This transfer window has already gifted us a few headline-grabbing moves. Mbappé and Endrick to Real Madrid, Leny Yoro to Manchester United, just to name a few. But in this video, we're diving into the hidden gems that you might have missed. From under-the-radar signings to potential game-changers, we've got the scoop on 10 summer transfers that you barely noticed but could make a huge impact this season. Let's kick things off with a centre-back legend who decided to move to a smaller club. Rafael Varane will always be associated with Real Madrid's iconic Champions League three-peat, but the great number of injuries that he has endured throughout his career have taken their toll. Now, at just 31 years old, Varane can't perform at an elite level anymore. Still, that doesn't mean he isn't a terrific bargain for the newly promoted Serie A team, Como. Como went from Serie D to Serie A in just 5 years, and they're coached by the former Golden Boy Cesc Fabregas. Varane is by far their most valuable signing, but Como has already brought established players to their squad, such as Pepe Reina, Alberto Moreno and Andrea Velotti. Next up, I have the most bizarre transfer in this video. Despite having Donnarumma and Arnau Tenas, one of the best keepers in the world and a solid backup option, PSG decided to spend 20 million euros on former Krasnodar keeper Matvei Safonov. It's not that he doesn't look like a decent keeper, but it's just a weird move considering the talent they already possess in that position. Besides, Russian players are almost blacklisted in a way, as there's very little info about them and almost all of them play in their own domestic league. By the way, do you agree that Russian clubs should continue to be banned from European competitions? Let me know what you think in the comments. On the other hand, in recent years we've been hearing more and more about Georgian players. Just as I predicted in this video, there was no way Georges Mikautadze was going to play in the second tier of French football after his remarkable Euro Championship. Despite permanently moving from Ajax to Metz following a successful loan to that same club in January, Mikautadze received a proposal from Lyon that he simply couldn't refuse. Not only is it a return to his youth club, but it's also the chance to headline a team looking to reach the top of French football once again. And while I don't know if Lyon will succeed or not, it's undeniable that they are at least willing to invest a lot. In 1 month in the transfer market, Lyon have already spent over 130 million euros on several Premier League players and other young stars. Speaking of young stars, I couldn't miss mentioning Savinho's move to Man City. The Brazilian international was crucial to Girona's successful podium finish last season, and his move to Man City was just a mere formality since Savinho was already part of the City football group as soon as he left Brazil. This is one of those shady deals in football that certainly raises an eyebrow. Savinho was transferred to Troyes back in 2022, but never even played a match in France. Now, 2 years later, the French club will receive 25 million euros for him. This is a low fee for a player of his caliber, but a lot considering he never laced up his boots for that club. Either way, he'll be a great addition to the citizens, who lacked a pure winger ever since Mahrez departed. It's going to be interesting to see who will be starting the most this season, considering the abundance of talent that City possesses in his position. On the opposite direction went Jan Couto, who left Man City and the City Football Group to join Borussia Dortmund. Couto was initially bought by Man City from Curitiba after only 2 matches as a professional player and was immediately loaned for the next 4 seasons to Girona and Braga. Again, this deal was very similar to the one made for Savinho. The difference is that Couto simply didn't have what it took to reach the Man City level. Even so, Man City was still able to sell him for 30 million euros, which is a huge profit considering he was bought for only 6 million euros. Now he's joining an ambitious club going through a bit of a rebuild under their new manager Nuri Sahin. But Jan Couto isn't the only good signing Dortmund have recently made. Pascal Gross, one of the most underrated and complete Premier League players in recent years, will return to his country after a wonderful spell with Brighton and Hove Albion. The German international will join Borussia for only 7 million euros, which could go down as the best bargain in his transfer window. Gross could compete with Can in the defensive midfielder position or with Sabitzer and Mecha as the team's number 8. Besides, his ability to play across different roles could also come in handy if the German outfit goes through an injury crisis in defense. The last player in this list moving to Dortmund is Serhou Guirassy. I know, I've talked about Dortmund transfers 3 times already in this video, but they're all pretty good deals that don't get the attention they deserve, simply because they're out of the Premier League spotlight. Guirassy exploded with Stuttgart last season, scoring 30 goals and guiding them to a surprising second place in the Bundesliga. The Ghanaian striker had been on a steady rise in the past couple of seasons with decent performances in Liga with Rennes as well. Now he gets his big chance to cement himself as one of the best strikers of his generation, but he will have to deal with a lot of competition in the club. Haller, Fulkrug and Moukoko are all candidates to occupy the number 9 role, so Guirassy will have to do even better than last season if he wants to start in his new club. Another great move by a Bundesliga club was Leverkusen signing Aleix Garcia. It really feels like Leverkusen don't want their title conquest to be a one-time thing. They secured Xabi Alonso for this season and they haven't lost any important players. In fact, they're only getting stronger. Aleix Garcia will be a valuable addition to their midfield after impressing with Girona in La Liga. The Spanish player was one of the last to be cut from Spain's squad for 2024, and I'm sure he'll take this opportunity to prove that he belongs in the best national team in Europe. Next up on our list, we have Pierre-Emile moving to Marseille. Tottenham has been criticized for not being able to shift players out, so I think this is a step in the right direction. Though it's not an outright transfer but instead a loan move, Marseille will be obligated to pay Spurs at least 13.5 million euros, a value that could go higher depending on the Danish player's performance. It was clear that Ange didn't want him in the squad and that he wishes to overhaul the Spurs. So despite the relatively low fee, I think most Tottenham fans should be happy with this deal. And finally, the most expensive transfer in this video and in Aston Villa's history, Amadou Onana for 60 million euros. The Belgian international had spent the previous 2 seasons with Everton, where he was by far their most outstanding player. Now at only 22 years old, Onana will have a chance to replace Douglas Luiz and play Champions League football for the first time in his career. It's really impressive how Aston Villa, just a few seasons ago, were deep in the championship trenches, can now afford to buy world-class midfielders to compete in the Champions League. It just makes me wonder, what crazy shit will we witness in the next 5 years? But anyways, that is it for the video. Let me know who do you think is going to do well and who is going to flop from this list of transfers. And as always, support the channel by leaving a like and subscribing. Come on, it's free, and if you didn't like the video, at least give me some feedback on what I can improve. Thanks for watching until the end, I appreciate you and I will see you on the next one.